You're listening to the Career Plus Life Catch-Up, episode number 55. Welcome to the Career Plus Life Catch-Up, a show anchored in reality to help you create a balanced life where you enjoy both your work and your life, because you don't have to choose. I'm your host, Cecile Ferry, a corporate executive turned coach and working mom. This is your place for insights, advice, and tools to optimize your career direction, balance, and confidence. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get into it. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the podcast episode this week. I hope you are going great. And today you're in for a treat with lots of really positive conversation. We're going to talk about living and deserving your best life. So seriously, is there any better topic to tune into today? I don't think so. So well done for pressing play. And I'm really excited to be here to talk about this topic. I've already spoken in episode number 25, I'll link it in the show notes, about how to live your own life. So there I talked about how important it was to be authentically yourself. But I'm going to build further on this. And today I want to aim even higher, and I want to talk about all of us living our best lives. So this is a pillar, if not actually the main pillar, of my entire business. I really firmly believe in our abilities and our power to live our best career plus life, have our best jobs, and have everything else going great in our life too. I have built this for myself. I help other women, other men getting it on a weekly basis. I see plenty of other people around me, above me, having it and inspiring me. So I do know it exists, and that's what I want to talk about today. But it all starts with belief. And often there is a lack of belief, or there are things interfering with that belief, like limitations, that can hold us back in really experiencing that best life for ourselves. And one belief that in particular I have identified in the past in myself, and that I see in a lot of women that I help and my friends, and to be honest, pretty much every woman that I meet, is I don't deserve. So if you're here and you're listening to that, chances are on some level, and probably quite a subconscious level, you have some of that story too. It's not an outspoken need, and we carry this deep down, and sometimes it's been many, many years. So we might tell ourselves, of course, I deserve the best life. Of course, I want that for myself. But deep down, the way that it feels is different. So today, I want to discuss all of that. I want to unpack that feeling that we have about our best life. And I want to have a proper conversation here about what it means, why we're all entitled to it, and to really unearth any of those hidden feelings that we have there in order to free ourselves up so we can claim it for ourselves. I think it's such a modern, important conversation to have these days, especially post-pandemic, where so many of those scars of our life have been redistributed. Now is the time to really look at our life and say, all right, what does the best look like for me, and how do I claim that? So I hope you're ready for a super uplifting conversation. Let's get into it. So let me start here with a personal question to you. What comes up for you if I tell you you can have the best life for yourself? What does it feel like? What comes up to you if I say you can have the best job, you can have the best relationship, you can have the best living environment, the best lifestyle, the best health, the best amount of money? Like, think about you having all of that. What feelings and what thoughts come up? Is it some kind of excitement and optimism and eagerness and saying, yes, Cecile, like I'm with you and I feel that way? Or maybe like many of us, we might be more like, yes, but, that feels good, but we have some kind of doubt about how we're going to go about that, and is it really for us? Is it possible? It sounds too good to be true. We may feel some fear even at the idea of having all of that because we're not used to it. Or we might even feel like overwhelmed because it just feels like all too much at the same time. And what if I said to you, yes, you can? And maybe this is the first time you're actually hearing it loud and proud because you've heard so many other things not aligned with that in the past up until today. So I'm here recording this podcast. The entire message that I have for you today is yes, you can. And you can have it. And that means that A, it is possible for you. And then B, not only is it possible, but you deserve it. So we're going to spend time talking about both of those aspects. I am aware that I am fully opening the can of worms here today, talking about this topic, because I'm going to shake the tree a little bit. So, is it possible to live your best life, to have that great, amazing life across all areas of it? My answer is yes. But if you look around, if you read in the media, you watch TV, you listen to the collective opinions, you will hear things like, oh, the grass is never really greener over there. You can't have it all, or don't get your hopes up, you'll be disappointed. Or you look around in the media and you see there's so many things going wrong in the world, right? Look at all the problems, look at all the worries that we have. Or you might hear it takes a lot of money to have the best life. You cannot have it unless you're really rich, right? Plus, there is a lot of collective conditioning to layer on top of that. So things that we've grown up with, whether usually it's our parents, but it could be any kind of influential people as we grew up and we formed our belief system. And we've adopted some of beliefs around life, like how easy life is and what it takes to build your life. And think about it in your own context. What were the stories that you heard? Whether they were actually taught to you directly or whether they were modeled to you through some examples or some situation that happened and you drew belief from that. Some examples of those beliefs around life is that life is about making it through. It's about overcoming obstacles, nearly that sort of survival, kind of pushing through mentality. Or it could be that you need to work hard to get things in your life. You somehow need to struggle. You need to earn your way through. Or things like life isn't about enjoyment. Enjoying like that and having that best life sounds really lazy and maybe pretentious, and it's not okay. In particular, some religions really drum it into ourselves that life is not about pleasures, it's not about fulfillment, it's not about enjoyment, and it's more about serving others and redeeming yourself. So we may have picked up based on our upbringing, our culture, our religion, the type of society we grew up in, any of those beliefs that really created that conditioning. And so often having your best life can feel like it's too good. It means that you're going to be feeling great all the time, and feeling good somehow doesn't feel that right. It's amazing, isn't it? Like we got to a place where the idea of something that is amazing, that is fulfilling and happy for us doesn't feel quite right. We have a dissonance with it and we're starting to doubt that it's possible, and we have skepticism and nearly fear of it. And no wonder, because we live in a world that is often dominated by what's going wrong, what's not possible, what we should pay attention at, because apparently that's helpful for us. And it just makes us adopt that protection mechanism, and we live our life through those lenses of avoiding things, avoiding problems, avoiding pain. But how often do you hear, oh, wow, it's about seeking the best? Like, follow that. What is it that you really want? What will make your life the best? No. Everyone is just warning you of what may happen here or there, and just to make sure you're going to stay safe and you're going to make it through. So, because of all of that, we give up on the idea that it's possible to live our best life. Nobody teaches us that, unless you obviously have really well-meaning parents that have learned that themselves from their own parents, and they're passing that on to you, and they can separate their own interest from yours. But that's not many of us. A lot of the time we got passed on all that conditioning, and so we just give up. Instead of living our best life, we live in a life of good enough. We pick goals that feel kind of within reach, that feel safe. We settle for a good life if we can. And we pretty much tell ourselves, well, that's how it is with everyone, and I shouldn't complain, and I should get on with it, and I should even be grateful for what I have. Yes, we should be grateful, but that doesn't mean at the detriment of wanting the best for ourselves. So often, we're just staying away from the best, have you noticed? Because maybe the best feels just a little bit too high. Maybe it feels just a little bit too boastful. Maybe too luxurious as well. And in some instances, maybe too unethical, because maybe we will be having that whilst other people next to us won't have the same. So my friends, let me tell you 2 things. Number 1, living your best life is possible. In fact, not only is it possible, it is your calling. It is your purpose. You are on this planet to make the most of this lifetime. This is what you are here for. This is the gift that you've been given at your birth. And if you don't believe me that it is possible, look at other people that are living proof of this. Examples that come to my mind are Oprah, maybe Liz Gilbert, Richard Branson. But it doesn't have to be those successful celebrities. It could even just be your barista around the corner, or that shopkeeper that you know loves what he or she is doing. Right? And you can think of those people in your head. Look around and seek that proof intentionally, because otherwise by default, all you will ever notice are those people who are not quite living their best life. And we can find a lot of them out there. And then when we do, we find solace in them for ourselves, because we're like, oh yeah, see, it's not really possible. We just reinforce our belief and off we go for another round. So instead, I want you to construct new beliefs around what is possible for you by finding your own role models wherever it is in your life and your circle and where you're hanging out online and offline. Look at those people who live their best life, and I guarantee you there are millions of them. But if you don't seek and look out for them, you will find the other type. And number 2, let me tell you, living your best life doesn't take away from anyone else. I feel like I really need to hammer this down, because to all of you who are really altruistic and are really concerned and want to do things for other people, you may feel like, well, if I do all of that, it could impact negatively someone. It doesn't change others negatively. In other words, when you are spending time focusing on yourself to build and to have your best life, you are not taking away from anybody. You are not withdrawing anything. You are not causing any kind of damage or pain, any kind of loss to anything or anyone. All you're doing is you are living up to your calling. You are actually fulfilling your life purpose. And if you're not living your best life, the only person that's negatively impacted is you. You're depriving yourself of that experience, of that own right that you have. And by flow and effect, you're actually depriving others of the gift of a fulfilled, excellent, best version of yourself. When you live your best life, you just are lit up. You radiate, you're positive, you've got tremendous energy, and that just has a flow and effect to all the people that come in contact with you. So not only you have a right to live your own life, but it's nearly a duty, because when you do, you give to other people. So don't feel like it's being selfish, living your best life. It is self-centered, but for the benefit of the greater cause as a flow on effect. So it's up to you to grab that chance to maximize all areas of your life so you can live happy, free, excited, grateful, confident, and feeling like your life is meaningful. So you're still with me, and I hope you are feeling the vibration of this podcast rising and rising, and we are not done, people. So now that I have got you on board about the possibility of having your best life and you're starting to contemplate that, let's talk a little bit more about you. Another question for you. Imagine you are standing on a stage and you're picturing a room full of people in front of you. In this room, there are lots of people that you know, people you work with, and your friends, and your families, and your partners, and all the people you grew up with, and your teachers, lots of people that you know, and even some people that have just heard of you, that have come along. So you've got this full room of people, and you're standing on the stage, and you're facing them, and they're listening to you, and you declare to them, I deserve the best life. Imagine you saying those words to them. What comes up for you? What reactions do you think you're getting? What are you hearing? Do you find you're hearing a lot of clapping and cheering and encouragement? Or is that a really uncomfortable position for you and you have some not so good feeling thoughts, even maybe all the way to icky thoughts like, oh, what are they going to think of me? Or I don't deserve this. No, not me. Like, who am I to be the one standing up here and claiming that for myself? Or I wouldn't even know how to do this. I'm going to stuff it up. Right? This is so interesting to look into your own thoughts about it because it reveals your own belief about yourself and your ability and your level of deservingness of that great life. You might go back to, oh, it's not possible, which is a really nice way for your inner critic to diffuse any attempt you want to go after your stuff, to just go, oh, well, anyway, it doesn't really exist, not really possible, so I'm not going to claim it for myself. So keep thinking about that for yourself. But I just want to give you a couple of examples and move on here because I want to show you that on top of all the collective conditioning, on the collective limiting that I have covered just before about living your best life, we add a layer on top of it ourselves linked to our unworthiness. And that's a feeling I have felt a lot in the past myself, so I really know what it feels like. And where do we get that from? That unworthiness? It's usually because either it's coming from people that have made you feel undeserving in the past. So they've either told you up front, like some teachers saying, you will never amount to anything, you will never have a good job, you will never do this, you will never be successful, right? Fortunately, those people exist. Or in the same category, you have had things happening to you like a big failure, something that you thought was possible and it didn't work out and you made it mean something about you, that you didn't deserve, you were not good enough, and that you shouldn't even wish for those things for yourself. Right? That's one option. Another reason why you may feel unworthy is because you have a fear of potentially overshadowing someone that may not have the same gifts or ability as you think. For instance, a sibling. So you're really afraid of not shining too bright because someone else needs the shine there. Or it could be about maybe you feeling uncomfortable for someone if you live your best life. That was definitely something that I realized for myself years ago about making money in my business, because I remember seeing my dad during all our childhood working really, really hard to earn money to fund our lifestyle and to fund our studies and all of that, that I felt terrible if I was to out-earn my dad, and especially not working as hard as him. So it's those self-sabotaging mechanisms that we have that then just create that belief that, no, I'm not worthy of this. I don't quite deserve this, and I might put my focus on something else. It's really hard to call yourself out on it from your own perspective, right? And also, I think in particular, as women, we grow up with a mentality of not asking, of being told where to stand and where the line is, of being told to not make waves, to be polite, to be quiet, to not speak up. So the flow-on effect of that is that we automatically censor ourselves and censor our desires for our own life a lot. Or we'll just pick one area of our lives where we feel like we're entitled to do really well and we want to maximize it, and that's it. So it can be like our career, and we just become massive career women because we feel we've got a right to play there. But then we feel like it's too much to ask for us to be successful in other areas. We feel we're too greedy, and that there are other people who need us more. So we often don't feel that we can, and that we're entitled to have more and to have really all that we want to have in our lives. And I just want to really stress that it's not our fault. We have been made to feel like this by social and cultural norms. So that doesn't mean they define us, but that means we need to break away from that, because there's just that natural tendency, because we grew up as girls and as women today, and we don't feel as worthy of having everything that we want that maybe most men will. And we kind of get told, be happy with what you got. And we therefore often suppress our own needs and wants to please other people, to please teachers, to please employers, to please parents, please boyfriends and husbands. Or we dedicate our time and energy so that other people can have their best life. Like our kids, our partners, our families, our friends. See, it's that selfless giver syndrome. So we're not really comfortable because we don't feel that we're entitled to, basically. And traditionally, our role has been put into being the nurturer, the carer, having a focus on other people. Like we just feel like we can't do both, right? There isn't enough time and energy in our life to both have our best life and give that to other people. So is it true that we don't deserve? Is it true that we should only aim at one area of our life? Is it true that we should put people first? No, and no. I am here to tell you no. And enough of this mentality of putting ourselves last, of belittling our desires and goals and aspiration because we feel like it's inappropriate or it's not okay and that we shouldn't, and we shame ourselves, and anyway we're probably not worthy. Like, this is all rubbish that needs to go in the bin. We are as worthy as any other human being on this planet to live our best life. You can be all the things. You can have all the things that you want to have and that you want to become in your life. Let me ask you this. What sort of a mother, what sort of a wife or a sister or a girlfriend will you be if you deny yourself your own aspirations? If you feel unworthy of the best for your own self? How will you be able to help others have the best for themselves if you do not believe and go after it for yourself in the first place? Let me tell you this. You are completely, utterly worthy of having the best life. And I mean it. As you're listening to me, whoever you are sitting right here ready to grab this, and it's there for you. And you deserve this in all areas of your life. And you don't need to do anything to earn it. It's already there. You just have to open your arms and say, thank you, I receive it, I am ready to live my best life. You don't need to earn it or deserve it through any kind of hardship or patience or giving your time or energy or acquiring more knowledge. No, you are here on this planet, therefore you deserve the best life. Full stop. By simply existing here, you are innately worthy of having that best life. You may not be there yet, and who is anyway? I'm in the same boat as you, but I have claimed my best life for now a couple of years. And it's a work in progress, and it's the journey of our life, really. It's the goal, is to live our life following our aspirations, and of course, navigating life. And it's not going to be easy, it's not going to be rosy, but our job is to push our own boat through that and to go for what it is that we really want. So yes, grab it for yourself, claim it, admit it to yourself. I want you to say it in the mirror. I want you to say it with me as you're listening to this podcast. I deserve the best life. Say it with me. Feel it all the way into your bones and enjoy that feeling of receiving it, of having it acquired within you, so that you no longer doubt that. And then you start living and breathing from that place. Now, what would it look like if you were living your best life? What would you want in it? Paint me the picture. What does that look like? If we look at all areas of your life, what would you like to be? What would you like to do? What would you like to have? These are so important questions to ask yourself. This is what matters, my friend, in life. You got to think and feel through those very deep and unique aspirations for you. You've got to let them out. You've got to unearth them. You got to feel connected to them. You're going to find them in you, and you got to make them come up to the surface, and then put them on paper. Journal about them. Have them in front of you every day. Turn them into a vision board if you're creative. And then get to work. Start putting actions and mini goals towards those bigger life goals that we have. Get on your way. And nothing is too small as a step. And just start taking action. As long as you're moving forward, you've got that clarity, and you are making an intention every day and every week to do one thing towards your best life. And don't let anyone tell you you can't have this. Bye-bye. Out of your life, those people. You don't need them. And you do you. It doesn't matter what it is that you want in your best life, because that will be different from anybody else. So have no shame, have no judgment, put that in the cupboard and just own it. Be yourself and just want what you want, just because you want it. It's you, your life, so feel it and accept it. It's all good. And start believing it every day. And from that place, watch what this new energy will do for you. So my friends, this is what I had for you in this episode. If you take one thing away from today, is that it's time now to have your best life. Whatever you've done in the past has been good up until today, but we're going to up it a notch. And we are going to start looking at what will make us not just go through life quite okay without too many bumps in the road, to having our best life. And it's there waiting for you. Waiting for you to unpack it, waiting for you to design it, waiting for you to arrange it and make it come together, waiting for you to maybe fix it based on what needs to happen. No one else will do it for you. And it certainly will never come from your external circumstances. You might be waiting a very long time for those to give you your best life. It starts from you. So start dreaming, start getting connected to your deeper desires and say, yes, I want that. Yes, I deserve that. And then get to work. And I can help you here with life coaching. This is exactly what we do from session number 1. We talk about all those aspirations that you have. We talk about the areas of your life. We make priorities and we get to work. We look into what's happening, what's not happening, why this is the case, and we change that and we put action plans and we put accountability around it, and we make you make progress towards those goals in one area of your time at a time. And you will see progress and you will start feeling what it's like to have your best life. So if you want that for yourself, if you're ready, come on, join me. You can visit careercatchup.com/life coaching and you can sign yourself up. I still have some spots so far, beginning of the year. So get yourself in and let's get you moving towards that amazing experience for yourself. In the meantime, let's not listen to the naysayers. Let's not look at the world's forever list of bad news and just join the chorus of what's not possible and how life sucks, right? Not you, my friends that are listening to me. You know better and you want to be part of the other chorus that is inspired, that is positive, that is clear on what they want and take action towards it. So do not settle for less than your best life and go after it with everything you've got. Have an amazing life this week, the best life you can live. Take care of yourself and I'll speak with you in the next episode. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to find out more information, you can visit my website at careercatchup.com. There you will find blog articles, free resources, a self-study course for your career direction and ways to work with me. It's at careercatchup.com. I hope to continue to connect with you and support you. Talk to you soon.